Honey, you all right?
Oh, dear, I was so worried about you. Are you
What?
hurt?
No. Look, no.
What is it?
I don't, what is it? You just ram your ice cream cone in my ear.
Sorry. I forgot I was holding
That's right. Don't worry about it.
What happened in there?
Well, I was right. Those guys went in to rob the liquor store.
Oh, Jerry.
Yeah, when I walked in, one of them had a gun to the clerk's head. The other one, when he saw me, turned and fired. Fortunately, he got in the first shot.
You didn't kill him, did you?
No, I just got him in the arm. It made a shot go astray.
Oh, good.
Hey, Grove, you better get down to the station and fill out a report right away, or else the sergeant's going to be down your throat.
Yeah, all right. Thanks. You want to go down to the station with me?
Sure, I like that.
Okay, come on.
Rhonda, what are you doing here?
Oh, hi, Ed.
Don't hi, Ed. Me. I asked you a question.
Ed, come on.
I wasn't talking to you.
Well, I had this idea of getting an ice cream cone, so Jerry and I came down here, and then Jerry saw the robbers in the liquor store, so he went over there and he saved the owner's life.
I thought I told you before, Grove. I don't like you getting my sister into these dangerous situations. Now, what do I have to do to get through to you?
I didn't plan it this way, Ed. Now, how was I supposed to know?
Jerry didn't put me in any danger. All he did was ask me to call the station and get another car over here.
I don't care what he asked you to do. You were in danger, and that's all that matters. Come on, I'm taking you back to the house.
No, you're not. I'm going down to the station with Jerry. He has some forms to fill out.
You are, young lady. The only place you're going is home.
Ed, let go of me.
Go on, go ahead home.
I don't want to.
Rhonda.
Go ahead. Go on home. I'll call you later.
Marianne. Hi. Haven't heard from Jamie yet. Not a thing. I'm sorry, honey. So am I. I guess I've just been stood up.
I'm trying to tell you, Miss Davis, that there is no need for you to be concerned about your son, and arrangements have been made.
I don't care about the arrangements that have been made. I want to know where my son is and why he didn't tell me he was leaving.
I'm afraid there wasn't time, but I assure you he is perfectly all right.
Well, that's not good enough. I want to know what's going on around here.
Miss Davis, if you would please just come with me, I will be sure
I'm
that
not
you get to the
leaving
airport
here until you tell me what I want to know.
Please, Miss Davis.
Curtis, have you...
Steve.
Miss Davis.
Wait a minute, I know that man. That's Steve Frame.
Who? Who's Steve Frame?
The man in the elevator.
No. I'm sorry. No, that was Mr. Black.
No, it wasn't. That was Steve Frame. Go of me. That was my son's father. What have you done with my son?
Miss Davis, as I keep telling you, your son was sent out of town on a Black Hawk construction crew.
I don't believe you.
I'm telling you the truth. Now, if you would just go down to your apartment, the limousine to take you to the airport
I
will
don't
be here
care
in
about
5...
the limousine. Where's my son? Steve Frame is alive. He can't be.
Another world.
Is Rhonda okay?
Yeah, Rhonda's okay. No thanks to you, Grove.
We just went to get an ice cream cone. You can't get a lot more innocent than that. Now, how was I supposed to know that I was going to come across a burglary in progress?
Well, I just don't like it.
Just what is it that you don't like?
Number one, you're too old for her. Number two, I don't want you getting my sister into that kind of danger ever. I don't care how innocent it is. I just don't like her dating you. It's that simple.
Don't you think you should let Rhonda decide who she wants to see?
I don't think my sister's got enough sense to know what she wants.
Look, Ed, I care about your sister. Now, do you think that I would deliberately take her somewhere where she might get hurt?
You did tonight, didn't you?
Not deliberately.
That doesn't mean anything. The fact is, she could have been shot. Because of you, she was in danger. I want you to stay away from my sister. You got that?
It's like I said before. I think that's Rhonda's decision.
That's where you're wrong. See, if I see my sister making a mistake, I'm going to tell her about it. If she won't listen, I'm going to stop her from making that mistake. And from where I sit, you're a mistake. Have I made myself clear?
Did you try to call him?
No.
Well, I'm sure he just got tied up at work.
Mom, there are bones where he works. If he was just going to be late or something, I'm sure he would have called.
Well, I know Jamie must have had a good reason. You'll hear from him, I'm sure of it.
No, I don't think so.
Well, would you like me to stay with you?
You and Alice are going to...
Oh, Alice and I were just going to get together and look at some fabrics, darling. She's really into redecorating the Corey house, but if you'd prefer...
No, really. No, you go ahead. I'm fine, really.
You sure?
Sure, I'm sure. Anyway, maybe you're right. Maybe he's just late or he got tied up or something.
Really at loose ends, aren't you, honey?
Yeah,
that's why you want to see Jamie.
I guess maybe I thought that he... Oh, I guess it doesn't really matter what I thought. Just dreaming again.
Hey, why don't I stay home?
No. You please, you go ahead. Go ahead. Anyway, maybe a little time alone will be good for me.
Maybe. Oh, honey, I love you.
I love you.
I put Matthew down for a nap. What's the matter? You won't believe this. You won't believe this. I mean, I went up to get Jamie, right? And, practically no one was there.
Except Jamie.
I mean, I'm all packed and ready to go to San Francisco. All I needed was for Jamie to take me to the airport. I mean, when Jamie says he's going to do something, he does it. He's never let me down yet. But tonight, he doesn't show up.
Well, did something happen to him?
How should I know?
Wasn't there anybody there who could tell you?
Yes, some creep told me that it was all right. Jamie was fine. He went out of town on a work detail or something.
Well, but Jamie would have called you.
Yes, that's what I thought. So I told the man I wasn't leaving until he told me where he was. He said everything was fine, that Jamie had arranged for a limousine.
A limousine?
To take me to the airport.
Well, that's what this guy told you?
Yes, right. And, it wasn't Jamie's style, so I told the man that, and I said I wouldn't go.
Well, what happened?
Well, so we stood there arguing, back and forth this guy, and then all of a sudden the elevator doors open. You're not going to believe this.
Believe what?
Well, there was this man in the elevator. Steve Frame.
Thought you might want dinner.
What are you doing here?
Are you hungry?
I thought Ed took you home.
He did, but he was still on duty. After he left, I came down here. But not until stopping off at the local gourmet hamburger stand.
Shouldn't have.
I wanted to.
Rhonda, I'm really sorry about what happened tonight. It could have been really dangerous. You could have been hurt.
Hey, don't worry about it. It can be dangerous crossing the street. Besides, being with you is worth the risk.
I don't know, Rhonda.
Ed got to you, didn't he?
We talked.
You mean Ed handed down a bunch of ultimatums?
I understand why he's worried.
Jerry, don't listen to him. He's really crazy when it comes to me.
But he made sense. Like you could have been hurt.
But I wasn't. That's what counts, isn't it?
Not this time. What about next time?
Let's not talk about next time now. Not while we're eating. Hey, that was supposed to be funny.
Nothing about this is funny, Rhonda.
Boy, that brother of mine must have really let you have it.
Maybe I deserved it.
No, Jerry. Ed has no right to dictate who my friends are, where we go.
But there is something else that bothers me. And it's because he might be right.
Let me guess. He thinks you're too old for me.
Maybe I am.
Jerry, Ed thinks I should be dating someone about 6. Believe me, you're not too old for me.
But...
Shouldn't I know?
But it bothers me.
Don't let it. Now look what I've done.
What are you talking about?
I forgot the shakes. I better go get us some coffee.
Okay, it's down the hall. It's just across from the fingerprint.
Jerry, I know where the coffee machines are. I've been hanging around here since I was a kid.
Who let her up there?
She got up there on her own.
What do you mean on her own? Where's the security in this building?
Edward, we have the best security money can buy.
Obviously, it's not good enough. What was she doing there anyway?
Well, apparently your son had arranged to take his mother to the airport. When he didn't show up as she expected,
Wait. Didn't you take care of that? You knew that she was going out of town. That's all we need, Curtis. Groups of people wandering around, wondering where James is and why he's gone.
Everyone was notified that he asked us to notify. But apparently, when the limousine did not show up on time, Miss Davis became impatient.
Everyone was notified?
I assume that no one actually called Miss Davis, thinking that the limousine itself, when it arrived, would be sufficient notification.
Oh, you don't know this woman the way I do. So Rachel became anxious as to James' whereabouts. Is that correct?
Yes. And, of course, since she lives in the building, it was very easy for her to gain access to the roof.
Curtis, I waited for years so I could come back here and try to build my life over again. So that I could reassemble my family, Alice and James. So that we could live together.
I know, Edward.
I have timed the event precisely. So that I could tell Alice first. Even to the point of sending my own son out of town. And Rachel Davis, of all people, practically walks into my living room.
It was my mistake, Edward. I should have handled it personally.
Yes, it was your mistake. And you will damn well rectify it.
Steve Frame?
Yeah, Steve Frame.
Honey, I think you better sit down.
Now, don't do that to me. Don't look at me like that. I know it was Steve Frame. I mean, he looked a lot different. He looked a lot older, but it's been 10 years. It's a long time. I mean, I probably look different, too, but it's Steve Frame, all right.
Well, what did he say to you?
It's his voice that I recognized first, you know. I mean, I recognized it right away. He didn't say anything to me. He was talking to this other guy, but I recognized his voice right away. I mean, I would not forget that voice.
Uh-huh.
So I said, Steve, and he just looked at me. And then I looked away for a minute. When I turned back, the elevator doors had closed and he was gone.
Honey, look, you've been under a terrible strain.
Don't say that. It's not that way at all. I mean, now I know what Jamie felt like when everybody thought he was going crazy. Look, I know it is Steve Frame.
Rachel, would you stop it? You're imagining things.
I'm not imagining anything, Mom. It was Steve Frame. I'd know him anywhere.
Grove, you got a minute?
Yeah, sure.
Look, I'm sorry about earlier.
Sorry, why?
I came down on you a little hard.
Hey, don't worry about it.
Now,
French fry?
I know, when it comes to my sister, I'm a little wacko. Always have been, probably always will be.
Yeah, well, I can understand that.
Can?
Yeah. There's something about Rhonda that I don't know, just makes you want to protect her.
I know. She's so trusting. I was afraid she's going to get hurt.
Yeah. Look, Ed, just know that I would never do anything to hurt her.
Maybe not. I mean, maybe you wouldn't mean to, but she's real delicate in a way. You're supposed to be at home.
Well, I'm not.
I can see that. You want to tell me why you're not?
I thought Jerry might want some hamburgers, so I came down here.
Well, Grove here's a big boy. He can feed himself.
Ed, quit it.
How'd you get here, anyway?
I walked.
I don't know what you can be thinking of. It's dark outside. You just don't go walking around in the dark.
Come on, Ed. I'm 19 years old.
That's the point. You're 19 years old. You just don't go wandering around the streets alone.
He's right, Rhonda. I didn't know you walked over here.
You know, you guys are something else. Would you quit treating me like I'm a kid?
But that's what you are. 19 is a kid, Rhonda.
Only in your eyes, Ed. According to the law and the rest of the people, I'm perfectly capable of taking care of myself.
Well, I know you, which means I know better than the law. Now put that coffee down.
Why?
Because I'm taking you home, again.
Well, you can't make me stay at home.
If I have to, I'm going to lock you up in the house.
Forget it, Ed. No one's going to lock me up.
Rhonda, we're going home.
Go on, Rhonda. Look, I'm going to be tied up here for a while. It's getting late.
Oh, I can wait. I'd like to.
Rhonda, come on.
Maybe you better go.
Ed, this isn't fair.
Who said anything about being fair?
Okay, Ed. You can bully me around this time. But if I want to go out with Jerry, I will. There's no way you're going to stop me.
We'll see about that.
Due to unforeseen circumstances, I'm going to have to accelerate my plans.
Accelerate?
Yes, I no longer have the luxury of time, and I'm counting on you to help me out.
What can I do, sir?
As I told you before, I'd like to know more about the Drug Rehabilitation Center at Bay City General.
The one that Mac Corey is setting up because of his son's drug abuses in the past?
His son, yes. I understand Mac Corey and Alice Frame are heading up the fundraising committee?
Yes, I'd heard about that as well. And I hadn't forgotten about your request. I was planning to look into that very soon.
I want you to look into it right away.
Certainly, sir. I'll get on it right up tomorrow morning.
No, tonight.
Tonight?
Yes, tonight.
Well, I don't know, sir. It's awfully late. I'm not sure I can find anyone to fill me in. At this
You're a very enterprising young man, Denver. I am sure you can find someone to fill you in if you really try.
Well, as a matter of fact, there might be someone.
I knew I could depend on you.
You can, sir.
I'd like to have that information in the morning.
Certainly, sir.
Thank you. I'll be waiting to hear from you.
Rachel, you have a plane to catch.
I can't go now.
Mitch is going to be waiting for you.
I mean, I can't pretend this didn't happen.
Mitch thinks that you and Matthew are going to be on that plane.
This has not been a very good day for me. I mean, I've lost custody of Amanda. I don't know where my son is or if he's all right. And a man who's been dead 10 years all of a sudden turns up alive upstairs.
Honey, I know. But listen, you need Mitch now. If anybody can help you get through losing Amanda, it's him.
I don't think I can stand not seeing Amanda.
You will see her, honey. And when you're separated from her, Mitch will help you. And you have Matthew. Now, come on, will you please get ready? I'll go to the airport with you.
I can't go.
Mitch is waiting for you.
He'll just have to wait a little longer.
Rachel.
I'm not saying I'm not going to go out eventually. I just can't go out now.
Well, do you still think he's going to be waiting for you when you do decide to go?
I can't go now. I mean, I don't know where Jamie is or what's happened to him. And Steve Frame is alive, and I don't know what's going on. I can't go until I know what's going on.
Steve Frame is dead.
He isn't dead.
Why didn't he say something to you?
Well, I don't know why. He was startled, I guess.
Because it wasn't him.
It was him.
You're not going to San Francisco, are you?
No, I'm not going.
Okay. Then I think that you better call Mitch and explain to him why all of a sudden, after all these weeks, you've changed your mind and you decided not to join him.
Who is it?
It's Mary Ann, Rachel.
Hi, Marian.
I hope you don't mind my dropping by like this.
No, of course not. Come on in.
Thank you. Well, it looks like you're really ready to go.
Yeah, well, I got delayed a bit.
Oh, I hope it's nothing serious.
Yeah, so do I. Oh, wait a minute. I'm sorry. Can I do something for you?
This is a little bit embarrassing.
It's all right. You don't have to be embarrassed.
It's about Jamie.
What about him?
We had a date tonight, and he didn't show up. He didn't call. I suppose he just forgot, but I got a little worried. He wasn't at home. I thought he might be here.
Sit down.
Thank you.
No, he was sent out of town on work. At least that's what they told me.
Oh, well, I suppose he just forgot about our date.
Yeah, well, he was supposed to take me to the airport, and he didn't call me, so...
Well, I wonder what's going on.
So do I. Oh, wait a minute. You said you had a date?
Yeah.
Oh. Are you and Rick separated?
Yes, we are.
Oh, well, I'm very sorry.
It's okay.
Well, I guess sometimes these things work out for the best. This is probably none of my business, but I hope you don't rush into anything, Marianne. I hope you think about what you're doing.
Don't worry. I've learned a lot about relationships lately. I plan to be more careful in the future.
Yeah, because, you see, when you rush into things, it's apt to be a mistake. A mistake, it's very difficult to remedy.
Hello?
Sally?
Yeah?
This is Denny Hobson.
Oh, hi, Denny.
Listen, I know it's kind of late to be calling you.
No, that's okay.
Well, I'm finishing up here at the office and thought you might want to have dinner with me tonight. That is, if you don't have any other plans.
No, I don't.
Well, so how about it? You want to go out with me? I've kind of had it with eating out alone, you know.
Well, sure. It sounds like fun.
Oh, Well, then I'll pick you up at your place in a little while, if that's okay.
Well, of course it's okay. Why wouldn't it be?
I don't know. I just didn't want to get you in any trouble. Walking on your family's dinner or something.
Oh, no problem.
You sure?
Yes, I'm sure. As a matter of fact, my mother's here, but she and Grandpa have already eaten, and besides, she's been wanting to meet you anyway.
Good. I'd like to meet her, too. So why don't I come right over?
Fine.
I'm on my way. Bye-bye.
Mom, this is Denny Hobson, Lee's brother. And Denny, I would like you to meet my mother, Alice Frame.
Hey, Danny. It's nice to meet you finally.
The pleasure is mine. I have you at an advantage, Mrs. Frame.
You do?
I know you better than you know me.
How's that?
Well, I keep reading about you in the paper. First the engagement party and then the drug rehabilitation center.
Yes, well, this is all new to me, believe me. Will you sit down?
Certainly. Excuse me.
I've never had this kind of publicity before.
Well, you're marrying a very influential man.
Yes, and a very wonderful man.
And a generous one, too. Judging from his involvement in the drug rehab center. What is that all about, anyway?
Jamie, Mac's son, had a severe drug problem a short while ago.
Yes, I heard about that.
Well, naturally, that was very traumatic for the entire family. That's when Mac became interested in drug rehabilitation. A little research proved that there are ways to help the patient and those close to him or her through the period of detoxification and then readjustment.
I'm beginning to get the picture.
Bay City General is lacking in adequate funds and space to handle the problem, so Mac is determined to remedy the situation, to get a drug rehab center operational. And I'm happy to say that I'll be helping him in any way I can.
Well, sounds like a very worthwhile project.
It is.
Since you're on the fundraising committee, it might interest you to know that my company, the Blackhawk Project, has expressed an interest in the center, too. In fact, they've asked me to check it out.
Really?
Yes. As a matter of fact, it's something they might want to get involved in.
Well, we are having our first fundraising meeting in 3 days, at which time we'll be making a very complete presentation. Mm-hmm. Perhaps you or a representative of your firm would like to attend.
Perhaps.
Well, I hope so. I'm sure that Mac would enjoy discussing this with you and your company.
Yeah, well, I thought we were going out to dinner.
Of course we are. It's just this project is so fascinating.
Yeah, but still...
I'm afraid I've taken up a lot of your time, Mrs. Frame.
No, you haven't taken up my time. I could talk about this subject for hours.
Let me help you with that.
Thank you.
Here we go. Right there.
Get my arm in there. Great,
Okay.
let's go, okay?
Okay.
Okay, good night, Mom.
Maybe we can talk about this further at another time, Mrs. Frame.
Good, I like
Good night,
that,
Mom.
Danny.
Okay,
Good night. Bye-bye. Who is it?
Miss Davis, it's Curtis Eldon.
Who?
We met earlier upstairs on the roof.
What do you want?
If you have a moment, I'd like to talk to you.
What do you want?
My employer, Mr. Edward Black, has asked me to come.
Stephen Frame.
Has asked me to come down to apologize for the mix-up regarding the information which you did not get regarding your son James having been sent out of state on a construction crew.
Where out of state?
I'm afraid I'm not at liberty to disclose that at this moment, but I wanted to assure you that your son will be calling you as soon as he is settled, and in fact he shouldn't be out of town for very long.
You mean out of state?
Out of state, yes.
And your employer, Mr. Edward Black, wanted you to tell me this?
Mm-hmm.
Well, why didn't he tell me himself? It's his son we're talking about, or has he forgotten about that?
Well, Mr. Black also apologizes for the fact that because of this mix-up, you missed your flight to California.
Oh, does he?
So he has arranged for a limousine to be downstairs in an hour, and he has booked and paid for a first-class ticket for you to San Francisco.
How considerate of him.
I assure you, you will be hearing from your son very soon, and in fact, he should be back shortly.
Fine. Is that it?
Yes, I believe so.
Well, you tell your employer, Mr. Black, for me, that I don't know what it is that's going on around here, but I know who he is. And I'm going to find out what's going on. He can hide all he wants to, but I'll see him. I'll see him real soon.
Hello? Yeah, can I please speak to Rhonda? Oh, I see. No, that's all right. Don't wake her up. No, will you just tell her that I called? Yeah, thank you. Goodbye.
Oh, Danny, that place was fabulous. You know what?
What?
I feel funny.
You do?
Yeah. I think that third champagne cocktail was not necessary. But I was having fun.
Yeah, the Connection's a pretty good place.
Pretty good. It's fabulous. And that singer, Melissa, she's wonderful. What's her last name?
Needham.
Needham, that's it. Do you know her personally?
I've met her a couple of times.
Yeah, is she nice?
Yeah.
Well, do you think that if we ever go there again, you could introduce me to her?
Sure.
Oh, that'd be great. So, are there a lot of places like that in Bay City?
I don't know. I don't know. Can you know anything more about that drug rehab center?
Oh, come on. Didn't you hear enough about that from my mother?
Oh, yeah, but it's interesting.
Yeah, well, not to me. Okay?
Ah. Okay, let's see. No?
Yeah, that one. That's right in there.
All right, I can find that. Okay.
Anyway, it's work stuff. Besides, I mean, we're supposed to be having fun.
Why can't work be fun?
Well, work is fun, but it's a different kind of fun. It's work fun. You know the difference, don't you?
Not really.
Oh.
By the way, I've been meaning to ask you, how are things going for you over at Corey?
Oh, they're okay.
Okay, that sounds really enthusiastic. I thought you liked your job.
I do. I'm, just a little worried about Cecile.
What's wrong with Cecile?
Nothing.
Nothing. That didn't sound like nothing.
I shouldn't have said anything.
Well, come on, Sal. You can trust me. I promise you can. It might make you feel better to talk about it.
I feel bad for her.
Why?
Cecile... Oh, she's pregnant.
Pregnant?
Yeah.
And is Jamie the father?
No. At least I don't think so.
Well, what does Cecile think?
Well, she says that Sandy's the father.
Well, I don't understand that. What's the problem?
Well, she really loves him, but she just doesn't want to tell him about the baby.
Why not?
Because she's afraid she'll be pressuring him into a relationship.
But if he's the father...
I know. Jenny, I told her the same thing. They love each other. I'm sure that Sandy would be more than happy to know about it.
Yeah, maybe. Unless...
You know, I hate to see her go through this all alone.
It must be rough on her.
It is, believe me.
Well, what about Jamie? Does he know?
Yeah, well, that's my problem. You see, I was so upset for Cecile that I went and told Jamie. Why don't I just keep my mouth shut?
Well, what did Jamie have to say?
He said he didn't care.
That's interesting.
Interesting. It's mean. You know, I don't know what's wrong with him, but lately he's been, I don't know, cold. I don't know what his problem is, but he sure has changed.
You think you might be still on something?
You mean like drugs?
Yeah.
No. He's not on anything. You know, every time we're together, we end up talking about Jamie Frame, my mother, and Matt Corey.
Yeah, I guess we do.
Yeah, we do. And sometimes I even get the feeling that you're pumping me for information or something.
Oh, that's silly. Why would I be pumping you for information?
Well, that's just what I was asking myself.
You have an overactive imagination.
You sure that's all there is to it?
Well, there is something else.
What is it?
You don't know?
No, why don't you tell me?
Well, I like you a lot, Sally. And I guess I'm just interested in people you care about.
Really?
Of course. What other reason would there be?
Here it is. Well, Steve. Seems so long ago. I used Jamie to get you to marry me, but I really thought you loved me then. When I got you to marry me, I think I was the happiest woman in the world. I had everything I ever wanted. The man I loved and our son. But it didn't last. At least the marriage didn't. But my obsession for you did. It wasn't until Matt came into my life that I learned what love was. And an obsession? No one has ever been that for me except you. Yes, it's you, all right. You look different, but I guess we all do. 10 years. And you're alive. What I don't know is why you're here after all this time. Why now, after all these years, have you come back to Bay City? And what for? I promise you, Stephen Frame, I'm not leaving this town until I find out why you're here. I'm not leaving.
Well, Miss Davis promised that she would see you soon, but she did accept the ticket.
I see. You think she'll leave tonight?
I hope so. But I'm not sanguine.
She must leave. She must leave, if only for a little while.
Now, Edward, listen to me. No matter what Miss Davis does, you have to do what you came here for, and now.
Curtis, my friend. Perhaps my only friend. I've waited too long. To rush this, I've waited too long to destroy it with impatience. I have my son out of town for a while. And I hope Rachel will be leaving within the hour. If she does, I will have earned the luxury of time. A little more time. The time to do this right. To go to Alice. To tell her I'm back. And to tell her she must come back into my life again.
Mitch, darling, I couldn't make the flight. It was just impossible. I couldn't get everything packed in time. No, nothing's wrong, I promise. I'll be out there. It's just going to take longer than I thought. Of course it was Amanda. I mean, I can't get used to losing custody of her. Well, it is upsetting and very confusing. I know the gallery and this place are only paid up through the end of the week. I know. I'll be out there soon, I promise. Yes, I know. No, I'm all right. Yeah, she's been here a lot. Okay, darling. All right, thank you for understanding. Okay. Yes, I love you too. I'll see you soon. All right. Yeah, I'm sorry. All right, bye-bye.
Join us each weekday at this time for the continuing story of Another World.